Ladies and gentlemen, the Yankees might be screwed. So we got a tweet last night from John Morosi saying Gerrit Cole is undergoing diagnostic tests on his throwing elbow. A source says Cole's status should be clear within the next couple of days. He gave up 6 earned runs in his last start. Now, we also got some comments from Gerrit Cole himself saying, I'm concerned, hopeful, but I'm concerned. And Brian Hoke tweeted out today saying Gerrit Cole said the imaging of his elbow has already been distributed and he is seeking second opinions. No travel booked at this time. I've still got some hope. I'm just waiting for the experts to weigh in. Now, the fact that he's seeking second opinions, that is a big red flag to me because that means the first opinion that he got, he didn't like very much. Now, there have been many times in the past where players have gone out there, gotten more opinions, and they were able to figure something out without having to get season-ending surgery. So there is definitely still some hope here on the table. But the fact that he had problems last spring training with his elbow, ended up missing some time in the regular season, did come back eventually and help the Yankees get to the World Series. But the fact now that you've had back-to-back spring trainings of elbow problems, this is a big red flag to me. And the Yankees right now, they are limping into 2025. Luis Gil, he's going to be shut down for 6 weeks with a lat strain. You're probably looking at around a month of rehab time in the minor leagues. So, when is he going to be coming back? June, July. So he's going to be missing a lot of time. And then Giancarlo Stanton as well. Both of his arms having severe pain in both of them. He's not even doing anything, baseball-wise right now. So when is he coming back? I mean, I don't know what's going on there. So the Yankees are just limping into 2025 right now. But let's focus on the starting rotation. Now, good thing they signed Max Fried this past offseason. That was big for them. Even though you got Fried and Rodon at the top, it's still looking pretty weak in my opinion. Sure, Fried, Rodon, but then it really starts to thin out. You got Marcus Stroman, and hey, Marcus Stroman, beginning of spring training, saying, I'm a starter. Well, here you go, Marcus Stroman. This is your big shot if Cole ends up missing a lot of time. So Stroman, this is a big chance for him to step up. Clark Schmidt, he stepped up last year. Can he take another step forward this coming year? Will Warren, he got rocked a lot last year, but he is having himself a pretty good spring training, is putting up some pretty good numbers right now, a 1.13 ERA over 3 games. This is a guy with pretty good stuff, decent velo as well, so this is a chance for him to step up this year. But if you're taking Gerrit Cole out of this rotation, I mean, man, that's going to be a big loss. Now, as of right now, they are projecting 28 starts for Gerrit Cole, considering the elbow problems that he is now having, and he's projected for a 2.7 F-WAR. So the Yankees right now are at a 13.7 total, ranking them 5th overall. But if you take that 2.7 out of this rotation, maybe add in a little bit more from another guy taking his place, then the Yankees, you're looking at probably around, a ranking in the 20s. You're looking here like the Mets are at an 11.2, Blue Jays 11.3. So you're going to be looking around that range. So overall, this Yankees rotation is looking very weak without Gerrit Cole. I mean, we all know what Gerrit Cole can do. This guy's one of the best starting pitchers in the game for a long time now. So the Yankees, I wonder how they approach this. Do they just stick with their internal options, like I said, with Will Warren, or could they go out there and maybe make a move? Now, there is Dylan Cease. He has been on the trade block for this entire offseason. The Padres, they've had some issues with the front office. The payroll has been a question mark over the last couple of years now. And with Dylan Cease, this guy's going to be a free agent next year. He is absolutely going to cash in. He's been one of the best starting pitchers in all of baseball for a while now. So I don't know if the Padres are going to have any shot at re-signing this guy with the payroll question marks they've had. Even though he would be a rental, they would definitely get back a nice package. And when it comes to the Yankees, it's still possible, I think, they could make a move for Dylan Cease. Now, we got this from John Heyman not too long ago saying, though teams are asking about Dylan Cease, a trade still doesn't seem likely. The Mets were showing interest at one point not too long ago. But, will the Padres trade him? I think there's a chance if they get a good enough package in return that can help them at the major league level, still help them compete, maybe get some prospects in there as well. I think there's a chance. And the Yankees, last offseason, remember, they were showing interest in Dylan Cease before he got moved to the Padres from the White Sox. Now, there is also Michael King. Could you maybe have a reunion with the former Yankee. I mean, yeah, he had a great season last year, pitched very well in the postseason as well. That would be a great reunion for the Yankees. He's also going to be a free agent after this coming season, so he would be a rental. But the problem here is I don't know if the Yankees have a good enough package to be able to send back to the Padres. Now, they definitely have the prospects to get a deal done, but I wonder if they have the prospects that they would be willing to part with. You know, Spencer Jones, George Lombard Jr., these guys have been having very good spring training so far. The Yankees, Spencer Jones, he has been, a guy that's been mentioned in mock trades and trade proposals and trade rumors in the past. So at this point, are they going to move him, or they seem a bit more inclined to hang on to him, if you ask me? So unless they're willing to part with either Jones or Lombard Jr., I just don't know if they're going to be able to get a deal done. Could you do something like Roderick Arias? Maybe you could send back Will Warren, maybe throw in a couple other guys, maybe. But again, I just don't know if they're going to have a good enough overall package that they would be willing to send back. They have, I think, the prospects to get a deal done, but it depends on what are they willing to do. Now, if neither Cease or King are realistic options, maybe the Yankees can make a phone call to another team in the National League, the St. Louis Cardinals, about Erick Fedde. Now, the Cardinals had a weird offseason, trying to go through a soft reset of sorts, trying to unload some payroll, clear some playing time for some of the younger guys within the organization. Most notably, they tried moving Nolan Arenado. It looks like they had a deal with the Astros in place at one point before he vetoed it. It looked like the Red Sox were an option at one point before they ended up signing Alex Bregman. So we'll see what ends up happening with him. I still think there's a chance he could get moved by the end of spring training, maybe by the deadline, depending on how the Cardinals are doing at that time. So we'll wait and see on that. But I think Erick Fedde could be an option here. He has come up a little bit this past offseason. He was very solid this past year with the White Sox and the Cardinals. 31 starts, just under 180 innings pitched, ERA at a 3.30, FIP at a 3.86, a 3.4 F4 overall. Now, no, he's not going to be Gerrit Cole by any means, but, a good veteran guy to put into the middle of your rotation to give you some reliable innings, I think that could go a long way for the Yankees. And he would be cheaper than both Cease and King. He doesn't have the track record like those guys have. Now, he is still very cheap, a $7.5 million AAV. And, the fact that he is reliable and he was solid this past year, he is still going to cost you something, but not as much as Cease or King. But again, the Yankees would have to part with some talent here. Maybe you could do something like Henry Lalani, Brock Selvage, going back to the Cardinals, maybe one other guy here. But I don't know, would the Yankees still want to do this? Would they be willing to give up this much young pitching for really just a rental at the end of the day? I mean, I don't know, could they maybe come to terms on an extension or something like that? It really just depends on what the Yankees would want to do here. But I think Fedde would be more realistic than Cease or King, or maybe you can add another guy to this trade, a guy that I just brought up a few moments ago, Nolan Arenado. I mean, hey, right now with the Yankees at third base, it is a question mark. You got guys like Oswaldo Cabrera, Oswald Peraza, DJ LeMahieu looked like an option at one point before he got hurt again. I mean, is that guy just going to retire? I don't know what's going on here. But if you wanted to go with an everyday option, a veteran guy like Nolan Arenado, I think could answer that for you. Now, the bat has regressed a little bit over the last couple of years. You did see some improvements towards the end of the season last year. He made some mechanical adjustments. He was hitting the ball harder, but I do wonder how his bat would play at Yankee Stadium. The Yankees have shown in the past that they can get a bit more out of veteran guys. Maybe they could figure out something with him. And hey, him and Paul Goldschmidt, they are buddies at the end of the day, so maybe this could be a good fit. If anything, he's going to give you great defense at third base. And if the Yankees, if they can't replace the production of Gerrit Cole in the rotation, maybe you could find ways to replace the production, in other parts of the team. Maybe bring in, a lesser pitcher, a guy like Arenado who can give you great defense at third base. Maybe you can make up for it in that way, especially if Giancarlo Stanton is going to be missing a lot of time. Maybe adding another bat here could make some sense for the Yankees. Would the Yankees want to add this much payroll here? I'm not so sure about that, but maybe this could be an option. Maybe Arenado and Fedde, a little bit of cash going along with them, and maybe you can just send back a couple of prospects to get the deal done. This could help out the Cardinals by clearing the payroll. They still get some prospects in return, so we'll just wait and see. But in the end, I kind of wonder with the Yankees, are they just going to maybe focus internally here, try and give these young guys more playing time, in the lineup to make up for the loss of Giancarlo Stanton in the rotation. Someone like Will Warren, this is a chance for him to really step up. A couple other guys down in the minors this year, like someone like Selvage, his year ended early last year. Maybe he could take a step forward this coming year and find a role with the Yankees. They still have a great looking bullpen at the end of the day. So that's where I kind of wonder if maybe they go with some internal options here. They did spend a lot this past offseason. That's kind of where I'm thinking they're going to go. Maybe they make a trade or two for some lesser options. I think maybe Fedde. Now, whatever the Yankees do, whether that's a trade or getting more out of their internal options, they got to figure something out here because the gap has really closed in the American League East. As of right now, Fangraph still has the Yankees projected to win the AL East, but that's with Gerrit Cole in the fold. So if he ends up missing a lot of time, my goodness, this could get extremely close. The Red Sox drastically improved this past offseason. They added Garrett Crochet, Alex Bregman, a few other guys. The Orioles, they're still looking very strong despite losing Corbin Burns and Anthony Santander. The Blue Jays made some improvements this past offseason. The Rays are always going to be pesky. So this AL East could get very interesting. Everybody, let me know your thoughts here on this entire situation, with Gerrit Cole, with the Yankees right now, and just their health in general. I would love to hear all of your thoughts down below in the comments. But everyone, that's all I got for right now. If you're kind of the way out, hit that like button for me. Subscribe if you're new. We are so close to 50,000 subscribers. I can't believe it. But everybody, that's all I got for right now. I'll talk to you next time.